Greetings and salutations, Internet. This is Wolfphototech, and here we go with another video. Normally I'll be holding this out here to show you, and I don't know why the angle is so messed up now, but hey, this is the starter set for Warhammer Fantasy Role-Play 4th edition. It is a nice, delightful box. It is slightly thinner than the typical Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition starter box. And let's get going with this, because people keep coming and going. First and foremost, let's open the top lid off. There's the edge of the box. It is rather simple in itself. There's the cover, as I said before, but on the inside, there's a handy dandy little chart of various basic mechanics for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. So this just doesn't count as a dice tray, but it's also a handy dandy reference source for a player or the game master when running the game, how various mechanics work. I'm going to move this back over here. And this time, instead of my Traveler or 5th edition slipcase, I'm going to use my RuneQuest Role-Playing Glantha slipcase to hold up this whole box. And apparently I put it upside down. In this, there's a little Ziploc bag with 2 dice. They're both a D10 and a D10s dice. Which is, hey, you only got 2 dice. Well, this is a D100 system. Basically, everything a D100, D10, D10 system. These are the only dice you truly need for this system. So it's rather economical in that consideration when it comes to dice necessities. This comes in this nice handy dandy, the resealable slip case or wrapper, and then you happen to have in the bottom of the box a delightful full map, as well as on the back of the box here's the list of the contents of the box and a picture of the contents of the box. This is one of those rare cases where, hey, I can't just like one thing after another out of the box. So, for all intents and purposes, that whole thing I usually do, that I literally decided to do out of nowhere, forgetting that it's all wrapped inside this wrapper, is pointless. We'll pull out the slipcase. In the back here, you got these tokens of the case. These are for, like, your various elements of chaos magic. All the colors of chaos magic. Because, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay uses colors associated with types of magic. Right here in this first packet, this fold open shield style one, is a little section on what comes in it, as well as some basic information on Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. A little bit on the lore of the world in the backside. And then here is the second sheet, which then you're getting into the pre-made characters, which you have a nice variety. There's character portrait on the back. This is very much like Call of Cthulhu in its orientation, with the exception that all the information on these little winglets that go to the character is just opens to the character is actually just information on role-playing in the character. Where on the inside of it is all your mechanics, your stats, your skills and such, and your weaponry, which is actually kind of nice. This is actually a step up from Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest, where all you have to do is just open the sheet, and everything you truly ever need is in the inside of the sheet. And if you wanted a quick reference point towards your character's basic personality traits and stuff like that. That is on the back side as well as with the photo, with the picture of the character. And you happen to have a nice variety of characters in this pile. You got a human, you got a dwarf, you got a halfling, you got another human wizard, you got a high elf, merchant, and you got a human hunter, a witch hunter. And to quickly explain, there's over 150 plus jobs in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. It is important to know that it's not the same as, say, like Dungeons and Dragons, where you level up, but your character has a set of skills within a job location, and they level up and become more proficient in those skills as they use them in the adventures. You can train up your skills with trainers and such. Little card with some maps. And then you have a combat reference sheet with all the basic instructions on how to do combat. You got tests reference sheet. On the back side is attributes. By the way, on the back of the combat sheet, there's actually a section for injuries, because Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay has a big tie-in with injuries. It's one of those lose your arm games, just like RuneQuest. Oh my goodness, spring is always rough on me because of my allergies. Conditions section. So all these is like, this starter set comes with a lot of handouts with all the basic mechanics spread out on them. And then this is more information on the setting right here on this card. You got a blank sheet. I cannot remember if I put this blank sheet in here or it just comes like that. You got more maps. A part of me wonders whether I accidentally got like 2 maps of the same thing, because they look identical. I might have accidentally got double maps. Hopefully someone didn't get no maps. And here's another one. I think I got this map earlier. Yeah. So I got 2 maps doubled again. See? That's happened twice. I don't know why there's those 2 sets of maps. The dice are actually from Q Workshop. Four highly detailed maps. Maybe that they doubled on both sides, but then they doubled them, so you can have them all out on the table at the same time, but you can just flip them. You got more reference sheets. Oh, I flipped through those already, didn't I? Yeah, that's... You got handouts. This is all on one big sheet. You got multiple sheets that have handouts on them for the mission or the adventure in the starter set. You got a world guide for the city. It is 64 pages. So this is literally as many pages as the new Spelljammer 5th edition is coming out in a few months. I really like doing that. This is the adventure book. This goes over the adventure. Warhammer is kind of like really grim, dark, crazy with a lot of political intrigue. That's basically what Warhammer is as a game system. It is a more of a brutal combat, but the game is structured so that it is more in the world for similitude. And political intrigues. In fact, I believe the #1 greatest political campaign in most ratings or rankings is the Enemy Within campaign. Whenever there's a political campaign list, like city intrigue, mystery, stuff like that, the Enemy Within is usually #1 on any list. Beautiful artwork. Gives the timeline for the city. Really eccentric looking characters. You have a really nice crazy mix in here. That kind of like gets the feel of what the combat is like. There's a little section on monsters in the back, or a few monsters. Dark cults. Well, that's it. There's not a whole lot more I can toss onto this. It comes with a lot of handouts. The start playing lots of a campaign setting book, an adventure book. The adventure book is also 47 pages, actually 48. You got a thick pile of handouts that you can hand out to players. You have a nice cast of starting characters to start with. Just flipping back through them again. Nice variety. At least for Warhammer, because it's a little more restricted in the species races section than most other TTRPGs. A handy dandy guide on how to play Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. And a token sheet, as well as 2 dice. I'm saying overall this is actually a really nice set if you want to get started into Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. This is actually quite nice compared to even the Dungeons & Dragons sets. Smaller box, a little more condensed, but a lot more stuff stuffed in it. A little Ziploc bag, and this nice little sleeve that you can slide everything right into. delightfully constructed box with maps and a quick and a basic set of information inside the lid. So you can always hand that to one of your newest players in the group, and boom, now they have the handy-dandy guide on stuff. Or you can keep it for yourself if you're a new game master. Everything fits nice and snuggles in this box, so there's no extra room, seriously, in the box. You could probably throw a few more bags of dice in here, but that's about it. And seeing as Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is only a D100 system, which breaks down into D10s and D10, it doesn't take you much money to actually build out enough dice to play this system. So there you go. I'd say it's a rather delightfully good looking box. Don't have too many opportunities to use it though so far, so it's hard to give a quality review from the perspective of playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. However, as the quality of the starter set box, as far as I can figure out all the fun details in it, is that it is actually quite simple to work out how the mechanics work. It's really straightforward and snappy. The system is delightful. However, this is really stripped down compared to the full rules for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. This is the core rulebook for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. It is a nice, chonky 351 pages. As I said, there's over like 150 classes in this, or the correct term is occupations or jobs, because it's not like there's 2 jobs on 2 pages. Your job is like on 1 page. You could, if you have this book, you can put this book out. I'm a thief. This is the basic information of my thief, and this is the stat allocation here in your specializations, and then this is your career path. So as you train up as a thief, you travel down this list and you add new abilities and adjust your stats as you are trained up or become more proficient as a thief through your experience as a thief. So Warhammer is less kill monsters, get XP, or milestone up. It's more like, oh, I'm spending time in training with a master thief. After so much time in working with him, successfully using my skills or in the field, I basically gain a rank, what I could refer to as a rank in that training skill set, and you rank up in that skill set. And then, say when you hit the maximum rank for a thief, you can go ahead and choose to, I'm going to go train with the Racketeer over there in our guild. And I go train with the Racketeer, and I get into the Racketeer racket. So I'm a thief plus Racketeer, a beginner, and I'm building up as a Racketeer. And you could build like a complex character that has gone through like 50 different job locations. And that's probably the true fun and love of this. If you go and Jim Davis on WebDM, that's one of his favorite things about this system, is that if you play it long enough, you could have a character who has a long story of careers and adventures, where they started in one field as a chef, and they move through multiple different careers. They get into law enforcement, and they go into crime, and they off into a section. And it kind of builds a story for your character beyond that. I will go into more depth into Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay in the future. As a starter set, my preliminary review on this, as a starter set, is this is freaking awesome. it's basically 4 stars. I wish there was, say, like a Gamemaster Screen included. Yeah, Gamemaster Screen included. Gamemaster. That's the thing that I keep coming to with the non-Dungeons and Dragons starter boxes, is that there's no Gamemaster Screen. And this game system is intended for, the starter boxes are intended for new players and game masters. So it would make sense that even if they were to give you a half height Game Master Screen or an easel type where it folds open, where it's designed that, you can just fold it open and it stands up and you can actually you have charts, basic charts on basic mechanics. That would be perfectly awesome for a beginner game master. But too many game sets are missing. There would be so many near perfect scores if it wasn't for the lack of Game Master Screen. So tell me in the comments below if you love Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and if you have any experiences playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Alrighty, thank you very much for watching this video. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it's like a 4-star. That's a preliminary score. Thank you very much for watching. Have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful week, and a magnificent month. And see you next time.